On existence. A meditation on being right now as you listen to these words. Approximately 7.8 billion human beings are scattered across a spinning rock hurtling through the void at 67,000 miles per hour. Each one of them is convinced, as you are, that they exist. But what does that actually mean? This isn't a rhetorical flourish. It's perhaps the most urgent question you'll never be able to fully answer. Because existence, your existence, my existence, the existence of everything, is so obvious that we forget how utterly strange it is. The shock of being. The philosopher Martin Heidegger spent much of his career wrestling with what he called the question of being. Not what things are, but that they are at all. Why is there something rather than nothing? It's a question that sounds simple until you really sit with it. Nothing would be so much simpler. Nothing requires no explanation, no cause, no energy, no space or time. Nothing is easy. Existence is the mystery. You experienced this shock once, probably when you were very young. Maybe you were lying in bed or staring at your hands, when suddenly the sheer fact of your own consciousness became overwhelming. You were here. You were real. You were experiencing. And then, just as quickly, the feeling passed, and you returned to the comfortable numbness of simply living without questioning it. But the question remains, lurking beneath every moment. What is this experience of existing? The many layers of being. Here, existence isn't one thing. It's a cascade of increasingly strange facts. First, there's physical existence. The atoms in your body are real, following the laws of physics, converting food into energy, electricity into thought. You exist as matter, which is already bizarre when you consider that matter is mostly empty space, and what isn't empty is made of quantum fields we can barely comprehend. Then there's biological existence. You're not just matter. You're matter that maintains itself, that fights entropy, that repairs and reproduces and persists against the universe's tendency toward disorder. Every 7 years, most of your cells have been replaced. You're a pattern that insists on continuing, a flame that keeps burning even as the wax melts away. But the deepest mystery is conscious existence. You don't just exist, you know you exist. Right now, there's something it's like to be you. You have an inner life, a perspective, a felt sense of being someone looking out at the world. Philosophers call this subjective experience, or qualia, but those are just fancy words for something we can't really explain. Why existence feels like something from the inside. The solitude and connection of being. Here's the paradox. Existence is the most private thing imaginable, and yet it's the only thing we truly share. Your consciousness is locked inside your skull, utterly inaccessible to anyone else. I can never know what it's like to be you, to see through your eyes, to feel your feelings. You are existentially alone in a way that no amount of intimacy can bridge. And yet, existence is the universal. Everything that is, exists. The person sitting next to you on the bus, the spider in the corner, the tree outside your window. All of us are here, participating in this strange fact of being. We're all players in the same cosmic occurrence, all somehow summoned from non-existence into existence, all temporary witnesses to the universe looking at itself. The gift of finitude. Perhaps the most profound aspect of human existence is that it ends. You didn't exist for billions of years before you were born, and you likely won't exist for billions of years after you die. You're a brief flash of consciousness in an ancient and vast universe, a candle lit for just a moment in an endless night. Some people find this terrifying, but consider the alternative. If you existed forever, would anything matter? Would any moment be precious if you had infinite moments? The French philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre argued that existence without essence means we must create our own meaning. But perhaps it goes deeper. Perhaps existence itself only means something because it's temporary, because it's fragile, because it could so easily not have happened at all. Your existence is impossible and inevitable, ordinary and miraculous, solitary and shared. You are matter that knows its matter, stardust that contemplates stardust, the universe experiencing itself for a brief and precious while. Living with the mystery. So what do we do with this strange gift of existing? We can't solve the mystery. We are the mystery. We can't step outside existence to understand it from the outside. We're stuck inside the question we're trying to answer. But maybe that's enough. Maybe the point isn't to understand existence, but to be astonished by it, to let the shock of being here crack through the mundane surface of daily life now and then. To remember, even briefly, that you could so easily not have existed, and yet here you are, reading these words, thinking these thoughts, being someone in a world full of other someones. Right now, you exist. Tomorrow is uncertain, but this moment is undeniable. You are here. And that simple, strange, profound fact is perhaps the only miracle we can ever be certain of.